From Cornwall to Birmingham and Johnston and Bexhill, here's Ruben Spar on the radio.
Hello to Moonbride. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Ruben. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for letting me chat to you today. So can you tell me, how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
I've been writing songs and performing them since I was probably 14 or 15.
So did you record your debut album in a recording studio?
I did, yeah. So I have what I'm calling my debut album is Reverie, which came out in 2017, but I've actually put out 3 albums, I think. Yeah, 3 albums before that one. But I was younger, so I don't really promote those anymore. You can't find them online anymore. But the first thing I ever put out, that was probably 2010, 2009. And all of it has been, well, actually, those first few were done in like bedroom recording studios, but Reverie was done in an official recording studio here in Asheville called Cedric Studios. It was beautiful up in the mountains.
So what was that like, going to a proper recording studio?
Oh, it was great. It even came with an assistant. So there was a guy there, like an intern, who was able to help us out whenever we needed anything. And it was a beautiful location, as I said. We just spent, I want to say, like 3 or 4 days just playing the whole thing through. And it was great.
So can you tell me about your debut single that released called My Own Stages?
Yeah, so My Own Stages, that one is about being, I got to think about that one. It's been a while since I played it. It's about kind of having nostalgia for the past or things of yesteryear. So I list off a bunch of different ideas in that song, like saying goodbye at a train station or um dancing in the 1950s or salt from the Mediterranean Sea, and all of these really tangible things that I think are beautiful, but I don't really get to experience them because, for whatever reason, but mostly because I was born in this era of technology and everything's so fast-paced. So it's a little bit of like sadness or melancholy for not for missing out on these like simpler times.
So can you tell me about your EP that released called It Tends to Glow?
Yeah, so that one came out in 2020, and it was all of the songs on that EP center around relationships, and not even necessarily romantic relationships, although I think one of them is quite romantic, but mostly just empathizing for other people and the complexity of love and what does it mean to love and be loved.
So can you tell me more about Fly?
Fly, that one was written uh because I actually had a really random opportunity where somebody I knew connected me with a female director in Italy, and she was looking for a song for a movie, her debut film feature. It was like a romantic comedy teen type movie, and she was looking for an original song for it. And as soon as I got off the call with her, I wrote that song. And I don't think I recorded it quickly enough for her because she didn't end up using it. I think I got back to her a little late, but I did write it. I wrote it in like 5 minutes. Right after the call, I was really inspired. And then the people who I work with regularly, they're producers on my most recent stuff. Uh, they were like, "Hey, this is a fun song. Why don't we just go ahead and record it anyway?" So it's a bit of like a quirky love song. and it was meant to be for a movie, but it didn't get used. So that's Fly.
So, can you tell me more about Prove Me Wrong?
Yeah, that song is the which number is it? Third or fourth song on my most recent album that came out this past February called Insomnie. And Prove Me Wrong. It's just it's a very boppy. It's a little aggressive. It starts with the line, why you treat me like a second class citizen?" So I think when I wrote it, I was feeling very angsty and kind of PO'd about something. And I think I wrote it while I was cooking dinner. And yeah, I really love the way it turned out. It's very like it's got like elements of auto tune in it, which at first I was really against because I don't like auto tune, but the producers said I should give it a chance, and I actually love the way it turned out.
So, can you tell me more about your album, Insomnie?
Yeah, so Insomnie was written during the pandemic, and in a way it ties a little bit into my debut album Reverie, in that Reverie means daydream, to be in a slumber, kind of just daydreaming, and Insomnie is the French for insomnia, which means you can't sleep. And I think there was like two sides of the same coin. I wrote Reverie when I was younger and everything seemed really possible and exciting. And I wrote Insomnie during this really insane time on the planet. I was getting older and just feeling like, oh man, I can't go back to that place. I can't go back to sleep now, even if I want to. So it has a lot to do with the climate of the culture, but it's also very intensely personal about just being really stuck in one's own head and wanting to get out. So it starts with a lot of those Prove Me Wrong style songs, like, I'm so frustrated. And then it ends on a much lighter, more deep note. Someone sort of going through a journey of finding their way out of the junk.
So, where do you get your inspiration for songwriting from?
Everywhere, but I'd say mostly like what I said with It Tends to Glow. A lot of my stuff comes from a place of wanting to understand other people and wanting to bring light to the darkness in the world, and also just trying to sort out my own complex human emotions. So it's kind of, there's a lot of dichotomy in there, but it's very introspective.
So, can you tell me more about your latest single? Because I know it's doing quite well at me. It's just done 10,000 streams. So, keep calm and carry on. So, can you tell me more about that?
Sure. Well, it is similarly to Prove Me Wrong. I think at the time I wrote it, I was a little bit just fed up with the differences and the division in our country, but specifically that was showing up in my own relationships. So I had some friends who I felt like we were just inevitably going in different directions. And that's where the lyrics were inspired from. But the actual production of the song is a little all over the place. It was kind of inspired by, it's got this very pop rock driving beat to it. And then it just goes all out like grunge in the chorus with these like thick electric guitars, sort of like Weezer style. And then coming out of the first chorus, we decided to throw some rockabilly in there. So there's just a lot of different genres happening, which I think fits well with the chaotic nature of the lyrics. Oh, and also there's going to be a music video coming out for that next week.
So, will that be your first video, or have we done more?
I've done other videos, yeah, but this will be my first official video in quite a few years. and I'm very excited about it. We put a lot of work into it, and it's got a lot of artistry. So be on the lookout for that. I guess by the time this airs, it'll already be out. So anyone watching, check it out.
Well, certainly we'll check it into the video description. So,
Mhm.
can you tell me, are you working on any new music in the near future?
Yeah, I haven't gotten back in the studio since recording the album, but I've got a lot in the works right now, and I've been demoing quite a few ideas. So yeah, I'm really excited to get back in there.
So I know you've got some gigs coming up very soon in August. So can you tell me more about that?
The gigs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm playing AVL Fest, and that's a citywide music festival here in Asheville where I live. And at the end of the month, I'm going to be playing at a great local venue called the Gray Eagle with Jason Scavone from Charlotte. He's an old friend, and I've looked up to him for many years. He's he's a really great songwriter and performer, singer. So I've been trying to get his band up to Asheville for a while now, and finally we were able to make it work. So yeah, it should be a fun like outdoor patio show.
Have you thought about do some gigs in Europe or the UK?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, it's definitely on my bucket list. I just need to there's a lot of logistics that needs to work out for that to happen, but yeah, hopefully one day.
So can you tell me, what's it like being an independent artist for you?
I'll tell you, it's a lot of work and it can be a bit stressful, but I've come to actually really enjoy it. I love the freedom that being an indie artist has, and it it makes I'm just I honestly don't know at this point if I were offered a record deal if I would even take it, because I've learned so much on how to operate my own business basically. Like this is a business in a sense. And so I've learned so many skills that I really don't, as much as it would be nice to have other people's help regularly, it's really nice to kind of just be able to do whatever I want. And I do when I can. I get help from my husband, who's very creative, and I'll hire friends to do things like produce and make music videos. So I'm not totally alone, but I really do enjoy it, and I hope that it can be lucrative enough so that I can keep doing it forever.
So finally, can you tell me, listeners, where can they find you on your social media?
So everything is at moonbridemusic, but on Instagram it's at moonbride.music because Moonbride Music was taken, unfortunately. And I also have a website. It's themoonbride.com.
Thank you. Let me chat to you today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice talking to you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, Ruben.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.